the back, or the one with the low cut, or the usually elegant and very, very clutch player in Sergio Ramos. It is a huge, or let's say now it was a huge figure in the dressing room for Real Madrid. In fact, it became too big for even the board, because whatever Ramos says is what the players will do, because it became that big. I remember him starting out as a right full back, metamorphosed into a centre back, and you have to say it turned out to be a very great player for Real Madrid, and he remains the Real Madrid player to have had the highest appearances in any El Clasico.
Yeah, 45. I mean, that's really, really massive. And I must just to add to what he has actually been talking about. Well, to first answer your question, maybe to some extent we saw this coming during the course of the season with the rancor that has actually been happening with himself, and of course, with Perez, the president of the club. And we were thinking maybe they would actually resolve it, but it's now glaring right now that they were not able to come to a roundtable discussion to make him continue right there. And whether we like it or not, this man is living like a legend. Is living Real Madrid like a legend right there. And with what he has been able to achieve right there, we cannot say that is one of the best defender that Real Madrid has actually ever had in years right there.
Well, talking about the rancor, maybe that is a discussion for another day, but then we need to begin to look at the way Real Madrid get to let go of their legends. We saw it with Casillas, we saw it with Cristiano Ronaldo,
so with Raul right there.
We saw it with Raul Gonzalez and all that. Maybe that is something we will look in depthly, maybe we'll look more incisively into going forward. But then it's so unfortunate that Ramos will be leaving Real Madrid. It's left to be seen where he would go after so many games for Real Madrid, 469 league games, and that is the fourth in Real Madrid
where
history.
He won 5 La Liga titles, 4 Champions Leagues in what was a glittering Real Madrid career. But you might be looking at it from his the legendary status. What about from the angle of the leadership in the team?
Definitely.
Sergio Ramos is not there anymore. Marcelo could be on his way out as well. I mean, who takes over the reign in terms of leadership?
For me, I think probably it has to be Cruz to some extent.
Not even Modric?
Modric, for me, it does not who's that kind of leadership, character, so to say.
Really? Croatians do not agree with you?
No. Well, that's for the Croatians, right? I'm talking about for Real Madrid. I mean, when you're talking about when someone is needed, you actually want to talk of Sergio Ramos. But now, looking at Luka Modric, I think the person that comes close is probably Toni Kroos for me, as far as I'm concerned. But then, let's wait and see.
Indeed, we'll wait and see. He made 671 appearances for Real Madrid and scored 101 goals in the process. I don't know what number that question will be coming in tomorrow, but hey, just keep it somewhere because of the winning Friday. But away from football, let's come to other sport before we return to football to talk about the Euros real quick. The NBA, and it was all about LaMelo Ball, that the Charlotte Hornets player being named the Rookie of the Year, despite the fact that he missed 21 games in the season. I mean, he was leading as a Rookie of the Year, missed 21 games through injury, then returned to continue. And I thought someone like Anthony Edwards, he had a good shout for that award.
Yeah, obviously, he had a good shout. But then, the kind of buzz around LaMelo Ball. And then we must also talk about the fact that whenever, LaMelo gets onto the court, he does so well, regardless of the number of minutes he gets. Whether he gets only 6 minutes in a game, you will still feel that impact of that wonderful young man. And then I think you might say it's still a little bit contentious, but all awards are contentious. It might depend on different angles to it. You might come with another angle that the other man talking about Edwards had played more games, had more minutes and all that. But if you are looking at maybe a minute to game ratio, talking about the impact they had, maybe Ball was one of the best, I have to say. And I hope you'll be able to translate it, because getting the Rookie of the Year is not just enough. We've had people get that award,
Rookie of the Year, and the next season,
and then the next season they begin
but
to
if you know anything about the Ball brothers in the NBA, then you can expect them to.
I really wish I agree, but then if you're going into discussion and debate this morning, we might actually not leave, because talking about Anthony Edwards for Minnesota Timberwolves, I mean, he had a more reliable score line even than LaMelo Ball during the course of the season. I mean, this is a man that is actually putting 19.3 points per game. I mean, that's really a massive compared to what LaMelo Ball is putting, 15.7. I mean, put all this together, and even aside from that, it's not just putting this this point, it's putting it in important games that was actually instrumental for Minnesota.
I think he also got a 50-point game at some point.
At some point because of the season. So how do you justify that? But then it's just the NBA. You really cannot justify anything, so to say.
Okay, well, that's Ball was drafted third overall pick in the NBA. And well, I also saw Anthony Edwards put in some ridiculous, dunks during the season. Ridiculous dunks. But hey, this was
this
just what it
campaign
is.
after election for
Yeah,
Really,
it's
but
good, yeah.
with the playoff games, surprisingly for me, Philadelphia 76ers and Utah Jazz, these two teams have surprised me beyond, because I'm wondering how for Utah Jazz, the Clippers side who were stretched to the limit by Memphis before getting to the to this stage of the tournament, having to drag Utah Jazz by their trousers, literally, for what we are seeing.
I mean, it looks like they are kind of used to it, because like you rightly said, they were stretched by Grizzlies. Remember, they were actually trailing in that particular game as well. I think 3-2 in that one before they came back and won 4-3 in that part. And it's looking like they want to replicate that. But hey, will they be able to do it to the last? I think time will definitely tell. But it's looking like they're trying everything possible to make sure that they actually better what they did last time out in the NBA. Would they be able to do that against Utah Jazz? And of course, that what make NBA really interesting is 7-game series. Nothing is decided until the very last in that particular one.
Until the very last, indeed. Okay, well, let's move away from basketball straight into athletics, where Blessing Fowowe, Esebrume, and Toby Amuson are among the overseas-based athletes who are at the Yaba College of Technology for the national trials of the Athletics Federation of Nigeria. Now, the trial, which starts today, would be used to select athletes who would represent Nigeria at the Olympics, while those who are yet to meet the Olympic qualification standards also have the opportunity to do so at the event. Well, reports gathered says that US-based Favour Ofili, Dotun Ogundeji, Shade Olatoye, Sisi Onyenkwere, Ashley Anumba, and Anechi Echikwonke are also in Lagos. Now, besides the overseas-based athletes, local athletes are also in Lagos for the trials. Grace Ngokocha, the only home-based athlete who has qualified for the Tokyo Olympics, would feature in the 100-meter and 200-meter women's event. Other notable names include men's 100-meter and 200-meter winner at the 2020 National Sports Festival. I'm talking of Enoch Adegoke, Sports Festival high jump winner David Aya, and discus winner Utitifon James, while notable absentees include Divine Oduduru, Raymond Ekewo, and Ruth Usoro. The qualification for athletics event for the 2020 Olympics will end on the 29th of June. But there are also growing reports that Team Nigeria will not wear the Puma kit to the Tokyo Olympics. Of course, there is bordering on the crisis rocking the federation at the moment. Well, what seems unclear to me is which faction of the federation is hosting this national trials. Is it the one backed by the ministry, or the one backed the one backed by the World Athletics and the CAA? It's the more you see, look, like I always say, the less you see. Straight to football, the NNL Shooting Stars had a game against Stationary Stores yesterday, and they won 3-0. And guess who was on the score sheet once again? Gafa Olafimion is his name. That man is a man in form at the moment. Hot, you can call it. I mean, I think it's got about 14 goals.
14 now, yeah.
14 goals, yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about Shooting Stars making it back to the NPFL with, what we have seen with their home ground there at Lekon Salami Stadium. It will be absolutely incredible to see them play on that pitch once again in the NPFL, not in the NNL. And speaking of the NPFL, this is not a good news, because Rivers United manager Stanley Aguma has been abducted by unknown gunmen. Now, Aguma, according to reports, was abducted along Enugu Road with 2 of his personal assistants. Apologize for that. Aguma, according to reports, was abducted along Enugu Road with 2 of his personal assistants on his way back from the NPFL game against Adamawa United at the Ribadu Square Stadium, Yola, which the Port Harcourt side based lost by 2-0. Now, kidnappings of footballers and the officials, as well as their relatives, have become a common occurrence in Nigeria, and with Aguma, the second NPFL coach to be kidnapped after Abdullahi Bifo in 2 years. Remember, in February, it was Kabiru Mohammed, the bus driver of NPFL side Adamawa United, who was abducted and was later released after they paid about a 1 million naira ransom to the abductors. Last year was Super Eagles and Enyimba star Tayo Ojo, who was kidnapped along 2 others on the Benin or Expressway. Last November, I remember Christian Obodo, the former Eagles midfielder, was also kidnapped in Delta State. Now it is Stanley Aguma. Well, the police have confirmed this abduction. We just hope that Stanley Aguma will regain his freedom as soon as possible. Well, we cannot comment further on that. But today in the NPFL, we see Enyimba square up against Rangers in a rescheduled game. It was supposed to be played yesterday, but somehow it was moved to today. And moving on in football to the women's summer series in the United States of America, where African champions showed that they are no pushovers, despite losing by 2-0 to 4-time world champions and 4-time Olympic champions USA. Feromi, what was that look about?
Did I look at you?
Yeah, what was that look about? I mean, we are streaming live, so
yeah, definitely. I mean, well, it was expected anyway. It's not as if we were that good enough to actually defeat the United States. But then, like we actually discussed on Tuesday, we should actually calm down the criticism for this man. Let's wait and see. Let's see how we can actually push them. Maybe he's actually learning one or two things from this defeat. Let's wait and see.
Thank God you're seeing from my side of view.
Yeah, obviously.
Maybe not for long.
It's not just about criticism all the time, especially in preparatory tournaments like this. It's not a major tournament. It is a tournament to get the team together. Moreover, we also had several logistic issues as regards this tournament. About 5 players couldn't get visa to be able to go to the United States to play in that particular tournament and all that. So you look at all these factors and say maybe it's one of those reasons. But then for me, it was a fantastic outing for us. We saw several other young lads, young ladies come through the ranks, new legs, new faces in the team and all that. So I think all in all, we have one or two things to learn. Losing to a United States team that
not shameful.
Yeah, it's not shameful. They had not lost in 41 games. Now they've stretched that streak to 42 games now. So there's no shame in losing to United States. You can only learn from those kind of games.
Okay, indeed, in 6 games for Randy Wardrum in charge of the Super Falcons, he has won 3, drawn 1, and lost 2. Lost to Jamaica and United States of America. Remember, also in the Turkey series back in February, he won that, winning all 3 games that they played in that competition. But here is the coach of the Super Falcons, Randy Wardrum, talking about what he felt after that defeat to the United States of America.
Well, I'm proud of that performance. I mean, we obviously had to defend more, and we knew we would against the U.S. But considering where they are in their preparation, and they're a few weeks away from the Olympics, and they're in top form, and we're a team that's just beginning, and then considering the lateness of players getting here, not having the full squad here, the professionalism of our players through this entire tournament is something that I'm extremely proud of. And I thought they gave a great effort there tonight. We gave a goal up in the 46th minute and a goal late in the 94th minute, and played a very competitive game against the top team.